Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Games and Pastimes. I'm Nisha.
I'm Brad.
And we're playing...
Garden QUOITS.
QUOITS? I have no idea, I've never heard that word.
QUOITS.
Anyway, the gist is you throw
ring onto stick.
Onto stick. So we've got a camera set up over there so you can see how shit we do. And then, yeah.
Minus 10 points if you hit the camera. I believe the way this game works is that you start with a score and you get points, it removes numbers from the score. So it seems the middle one's 100. I guess the score should be something like 200.
Okay, so we start with 200 each. Ding, ding. And also, why we play games, we're supposed to talk about things from the past, hence the name. So, yeah, I suppose we could talk about old jobs that we did.
Ooh, okay, employment. And as these always work, the second the game ends, the video ends. So even if we're halfway through a story, you don't get to hear the end.
Okay, so as soon as one gets 0.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so... Do I talk first or do I throw first?
Maybe the person who isn't throwing talks. So my first job was a paperboy. I was... Are you going to keep going and then I'll go?
Yeah, we'll throw 3 and then you throw, yeah. That makes sense.
Like
so
darts.
You can just keep talking, yeah.
Yeah, I was a paperboy. I actually started before I was supposed to.
What happens when that happens?
You don't get the point. You broke it. Put it back. Yeah, I started when I was 12 and you're not really supposed to do a job that handles like money and shit until you're 13. Not money.
Who
just
fucking
goods.
glues? Who fucking uses glue? Again.
That's probably why it fell out. Yeah. But then you can't pack it away. Yeah, so I bought this. This came secondhand from a charity shop. And whoever owned it before us has glued them in and then pulled them out. Which just seems really silly because once you've put the glue in and then broken the glue, all of them have glue in the holes. And they don't go in as proper. Pick up a penguin. Yeah, I quite enjoyed being a paperboy. Got a lot of exercise. I didn't like it on bad weather days.
Snow.
I got so good at it because it's going to be a pattern. I'm good at every job I do. Yeah, I got so good at doing a paper round that I could fold paper in one hand. So what I used to do is get like 2 papers out, fold them both, and then.
Well.
Terrible.
200 still.
No, I kid. I mean, I could do that. Like there was something, but. I have this thing where like, I get really bored with work, so I have to find a way to make it more complicated or more interesting to keep me interested. Mm-hmm. I should really have put my mic on the other side so that ours were interacting less.
It's like you're good at every job, Brad.
We'll just try not to talk over each other. I just said I like to make it more challenging for myself, even though you're editing it, lol. My first throw. Second throw.
Wait, I need to talk. Give me a chance to talk about my experiences. My first job was...
Do my workouts.
A Tesco cashier. Christmas temp, 2008. I worked for 3 weeks and got paid about 250 and I felt so rich. It's like when you're in college, first job you have, you feel so rich. But I didn't enjoy it. Definitely not for me. And it was funny because I was 16 and it was Christmas time. A lot of people were buying alcohol. So every other person I served, I had to call. Yeah. So every other person I served, I had to call someone to authorize it because I wasn't old enough, and I'd get like really impatient people. Right, my turn again.
I also worked a few shifts for my uncle's.
Where does that go in? Sorry.
Roofing and plastering business. And my job was primarily mixing cement and carrying it up a ladder. And let me tell you, a bucket of cement is very heavy. I was obviously in better shape back then. The fact that I was able to lift, it's like what was essentially a bucket of stone up a ladder, a two-story. I was going to say 2-floor and then 2-story and messed it up in the middle. Two-flory house. And then I also got to do a bit of pebble dashing as well, which was actually really fun. And a little bit of the, we smooth it out.
Well, that's satisfying. Oh, that doesn't count. So my
This isn't gonna go. I could see why they glued it in.
My next job was working at City Hall in hospitality. So I would steward. I'd work on the bar. I would do like waitressing for dinners and stuff like that, silver service. Yeah, and again, I think it was a good job because I did it at uni. It was very flexible. You could pick when you worked, and it was evenings, so it was really ideal. And I got to see a lot of famous people. Never actually met. Did I meet them? I think I just like walked past them. I remember walking past a lot of people at the stage door, and I remember I couldn't get out once because Noel Fielding was in the way.
No, get the fuck out of the way, dickhead. Who was the most famous person you've seen in person?
Sylvester Stallone.
Why is that? Why you say most famous? Is that because he charged like 600 quid an autograph?
Yeah, that was insane. Like people coming in early for like the VIP treatment and photographs, and they'd paid like 600 quid, and I was just like, really? Because it was just, I mean, it was cool to see him in person, but he just did a talk, really.
Maybe 200 was a bit optimistic.
Yeah. Should we say like 150? 150. If we still shit, we'll keep going down.
Yeah, eventually it'll just be whoever can get one on.
I think one of the most recent people I saw, because I worked there for a few years, then left, and then went back, was Evanescence. I did like the VIP meet.
People was Evanescence. Who was Mr. Evanescence?
Fun. So I did like the VIP meet and greet, because I wanted to see them, but they like tickets sold out fast, as you imagine. So when there was an opportunity to work the meet and greet, I was like, yes, of course. So yeah, I stood next to Amy Lee. That's
fine. You just talk through your throws as well. I don't even need to be here.
Yeah, but there's a lot that happened at City Hall. I saw a lot of famous people.
Right, you ready? This is gonna be 100. I meant the next one. That was a warm up. I meant altogether, like one of them's gonna be 100. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think I was mentioning the first famous person I saw was Jimmy Carr.
Ah.
My first ever gig that I worked, Jimmy Carr.
I also worked at B&Q for a time. I was a customer service advisor, which is a fancy way of saying worked on a till. And yeah, I was there for a couple of years. It was a part-time job. And I always remember that I got reprimanded once because somebody had complained that I smelled of BO. And what happened was that I had this job while I was in college. So in order to not have to take my uniform with me when I went to college, I would leave it in my locker. And so even though I was clean, the uniform got a bit musky. And so there was a complaint, but it wasn't like they tried to be as polite as possible. So they brought me into the office and they were like, yes. No, they were like, we've had a couple of issues regarding you. So here's a page from the employee handbook. We've just highlighted a relevant passage. And I looked at it, it was like, hygiene is important. And I was like, what's the issue? Is somebody complaining about my hygiene? And they were like, yeah, we've had complaints that you smell a bit, or you might not be. And I was like, oh, it's because I put my uniform in my locker. That's probably why. So after that, I had to wash it more often and bring it with me instead of leaving it.
They're never going to land, are they? They're just going to knock it off. How it's never going to land. It's never going to work.
Before we recorded, I said to Nisha, which game should we play? Do you want to play this one, or do you want to play the silly one where you stack chairs? And we were both like, oh no, this one will be more fun.
It's more infuriating, it seems. I think I could have landed at least 2 by now.
Ah, me too, yeah. I could have landed them all. All right, here we go. Oh, fuck off.
At least it didn't pop out.
It's going to be really satisfying when we do get one, though.
So yeah, I mean, City Hall. I had that for a couple of years, and then I started working at Sports Direct, which everyone who's followed the channel long enough knows about.
Oh yeah, you loved that job, didn't you?
Broke me. Broke me as a person. No, it's just... Yes! I got one in.
What's going on? Which one is it, the 50?
50, so I'm down to 100 points. Ding!
I'm going to have to start trying. I like doing stuff like that, because I do that in every game I play with these kind of things. I always get cocky just before I do something, because if I do hit it, it looks like I meant it. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm going to lean into the camera and I'm going to be like, guess I'll have to start trying now. Guess I'll just have to go straight for the 100. Damn it. And like, if it goes on, then I just, you can see the expression on my face. Like, I'm obviously really happy about it, but I'm like, I knew I was going to get it.
Told you, I'm so skilled.
It's looking like All Might's smile. Yes! Is that 10? Fuck off.
140 for you.
Oh yeah, I've started watching My Hero Academia, and every single time All Might does his catchphrase, I burst out laughing because it's so funny. It's such a goofy catchphrase, but it's so good and it matches him perfectly.
So I mentioned before to you in person that there's certain moments where I can't unhear Piccolo over Vegeta because it's the same voice actor. So I'm just like, so the first time I watched it, he said something. You know when he's in his like original form for the first time, he said something like, "Damn it!" And I was like, Vegeta. So I looked it up and I was like, no. How is he at everything?
It's so good though. Nobody panic because I am here. It's like, oh, he's here. We did a beer pong last week and we called our team We Are Here. And then when we won one of the games, we were both like, we are here. And then we lost the rest. But
what was frustrating was you had a t-shirt, an Ailstorm t-shirt on that said, we are here to drink your beer. So I kept saying, we are here to drink your beer.
We are here to drink your beer. I didn't even notice that when we named the team. It was afterwards when you quoted that as a joke. And I'd gone, oh shit, that's on the back of my t-shirt. Right, okay, time to catch up. Oh, yes, and he takes the lead. Got 2 left. Damn it.
25. Is that 25?
Yeah, that's 25.
So that's 65 then now.
What was your next job?
Well, to be fair.
Oh, no, you haven't talked about Sports Direct properly.
Oh, do I want to? Yeah.
Before
Is that still in frame?
It is, but it's not where it should be. Move it a little bit closer to the camera. That'll do. It looks so wonky on the camera.
But yeah, so Sports Direct was all fun and games. I was there for like 3 years. And like I said, I just felt like it broke me because management isn't great. Customers treat you like shit because you're wearing...
It's meant to go over there.
They don't anymore, but it used to wear basically like a tracksuit, but it was red and blue and it was disgusting. And I think... Is that 50 again?
That's the 50 again.
So that's 50 now then.
You're 250s, right?
Yeah, so takes the lead. Takes the lead. But yeah, so I think like customers would like just look down on you for working that job, even though it's just a regular job. And also I didn't like sports. I'm not a big sport person, so I knew nothing about...
She says playing a physical game.
You know what I mean? Like football, like basketball, I'm not bothered about. So yeah, I was working at a job where you treated like crap and then I knew nothing or cared about. I didn't care about the actual shop itself.
There was nothing redeeming about it.
No.
You didn't enjoy what you were doing, you didn't enjoy the subject of what it was, and the people there were all assholes.
I mean, the people I worked with were lovely. I've made some really nice friends there, but it's just like higher ups that are just kind of like...
Yeah, I saw a TikTok recently where it was somebody like, if you want friends for life, get a job that's shit. Yeah, because you will bond over the people you work with.
Shit it is,
yeah. Alright. So I want 65. Mm-hmm. So I need to go for 100. But he's got the 50 though! 15 left. Oh so I can get the 25. I could get the 75. I can get the 50. Oh, so many options.
You could get any because you just win.
So what do you want to pick? Pick one.
The 10.
See, I've got to go for the 10. I've got to go for the 10 now. I missed the 10 by miles. Damn it.
Right. I've got to get a 50 again.
I should have done that.
I've got to get a 50 again.
No, you're not going to do it. Yeah, I also had a job at VUE Cinema. Mm-hmm. I was at VUE for a while, and I enjoyed working at VUE. Like it eventually, making it harder for yourself. I eventually got tired of working at VUE. Like it sort of having a job for a certain amount of time like drains. It really drains you, especially if you're a creative person. If it's the same monotonous job all the time. But while I was at VUE, I basically ended up getting to do a job I hated less, which was selling things in screens, because I don't want to brag, but I was so good at it that our branch went from like somewhere near the bottom to top in the country in this one very specific area. And like
because of you,
because of me. I'm not even kidding. Like I got submitted for like a prize thing and won because I had this much influence on this, and I increased like the amount of money that was made per day in the whole place by like a penny or something by myself. It doesn't seem like a lot. It might not seem like much, but if you assume that they're going to take thousands of pounds a day and one person can increase that profit by a small amount, there might have been like different figures there, but I was definitely good at it. So good. Like I went there recently, actually. I went there for
Hawking, basically.
Hawking, yeah, that's what it was called. I went there recently. And he's done it! Oh, no one gets to hear the end of the story. Done. Victory, yeah, victory.
Oh, hello there. No, don't worry, you're not interrupting. I'm just reading myself a lovely passage of this book written by our patrons, the ones who keep the channel alive and allow us to keep making shit like this. What was that? You'd like to hear an excerpt? Well, I do have with me an excerpt here via our VIPs. Would you like to hear it? Of course you would! Here it is just for you. Patrick Bradson, Benjamin Friedman, Shea Pinder, Joe Noah, Sarah Paul, Liam, Aero QC, Kynan Plays Games, Jet Road, Binga, Popsicle Tart, Rotoscope, Shanair, Andy Ellis, Joshua Knapp, Jace, Jacob Ursenbach, The Fez Wearer, Samuel Chesser, Anna Goo. If you'd like your name to be in one of these ridiculous end segments, you can do so by joining the VIP tier on Patreon. That's right, it keeps us afloat, you know. Okay, that's enough.